Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. It is April. It is springtime, and stuff is blooming outside. We've already had the grass cut a couple times. I've been sneezing a lot. If I don't take my allergy medicine, but it is. It's beautiful, beautiful time of year. It's really been a pretty spring so far. And I'm gone a lot.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is better than last year.
Are you sure? I liked it. I liked it being home a lot.
No, it's actually been a rude awakening of life again.
Nose to the grindstone.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're going to play a fun game of... And I did not read the questions beforehand because Ott always accused me of cheating, and then I know the questions. So I'm going to set my timer for 3 minutes.
Okay.
And they're just would you rather questions.
Okay.
So we'll just read them and answer.
3 minutes.
So there's really no wrong or right answer.
Or, no winner.
So there's no...
Okay.
I'm always the winner. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay, are you going to read them or what?
Would you rather lose your non-dominant hand or your dominant foot?
A non-dominant hand, I think.
Hand. Yeah, I'm going.
I need to.
Would you rather be reincarnated as a fly or just cease to exist after you die? Well, humans live forever. You just don't live on this earth forever. You are an eternal being. So.
Well, as long as you're saved.
Well, you're eternal either way. You just going to heaven or you going to hell.
Oh, yes. Okay. I was like, I got you.
So that's not going to happen. Nobody wins on that one.
What? Next question. Would you rather find your true love or a suitcase with $5 million inside?
Your true love. You can make money.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
true love.
Well, we already have our true love, so now we could we can do a suitcase with $5 million. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere or be able to read minds?
Teleport.
Anywhere. I don't want to know what people are thinking.
No,
that wouldn't be good.
No, teleport.
Would you rather know when you were going to die or how you were going to die? I don't know. That could be bad, right?
You should have read these.
I just made sure they weren't inappropriate.
Yeah. I would say...
I think when.
Yeah, for sure
I don't want to know how. Yeah.
Yeah, when.
Okay. Would you rather be completely invisible for one day or able to fly for one day?
Invisible.
I think I'd rather fly.
I'd like to be invisible. That'd be cool.
Okay, you go
Would you rather go for a year without television or books?
Books.
Either.
Well, it says one. It's would you rather?
Yeah, books.
Okay.
Would you rather be infamous in history books or be forgotten after your death? I think like infamous. I mean, it's like being famous.
Oh.
People knowing who you are.
Or be forgotten. Well, you don't want to be forgotten.
You don't want to be forgotten. You want to have lived a life that impacted others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be forgotten.
Yeah. Infamous is a bit extreme, but.
Yeah.
Would you rather never be able to eat meat or never be able to eat vegetables?
Vegetables. That's easy.
Yeah.
We're only doing 10 of these.
We're good on
We're
time.
good. So, would you rather be a practicing doctor or a medical researcher? I think a researcher for me.
See, I'd rather be a doctor because I would rather like fix people.
See, I would be so anxious that I would fix them wrong and not fix them. That
so you'd rather practice on mice?
Yes, or just like to research, ways to fix it. See, I'd rather be in the background. I don't want to be on the front. That's personality right there.
Yeah, I'd rather be the doctor.
Yeah.
Oh,
look.
Ding, ding, ding.
We actually did something good.
Hey, we got 10 questions in 3 minutes. It's pretty good. Just wrap it up a little bit from last time. We had the twins. Yep. We'd had them and then Montgomery, Alabama, All-Star Tournament. Got a win there.
Well, that was about 7 weeks after.
Yeah.
About 7 weeks after the twins were born.
Yeah, they were 7 or 8 weeks old with that.
Well, technically, actually, you won Rookie of the Year 2 weeks after they were born.
Correct.
Drove down with 2-week-old twins and a 4-year-old because I wasn't going to miss it.
The verse we want to share that goes pretty well with today's autopilot episode is Psalm 90, verse 2. And it says, "Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the whole world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God." Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, end of that year, that was our last event, I guess, was in August of that year. I don't remember fishing anything that fall, but yeah, you know, an amazing first year on the Elite Series, and you know, things were really, really going good, and that really between winning Rookie of the Year and that All-Star event right there at the end, that really did a lot for sponsorship-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of stuff changed in a big way.
Ironically enough, he beat Edwin on the final day.
Yeah.
Just got to throw that in there.
Yeah.
And his weight was 8'7", which is what Abby weighed when she was born.
Yeah. He and I talked about that the other day on a thing we did on his YouTube, and he just knew he lost. He completely put it out of his mind. He didn't even remember. He kind of remembered me winning. It was like, oh, yeah. That was you that beat me.
Yeah, because we weren't really close to anybody yet.
Yeah,
just Andy.
Yeah, and so, yeah, that was fun. I said, no, because I had 8'7", you had 8'2". It was only 5 ounce difference. And that was what Abby weighed. He's like, oh, yeah, I kind of remember that. That was the one I ran out of gas. I said, no, Edwin, that was the one the next year where you fished against Edwin. He's like, man, I can't even remember. I said, well, I can tell you where you lost a 3-pounder that you would have beat me if you'd have caught. He's like, oh, yeah. You know, it took him a minute, but I kind of rejogged his memory on that some. But, yeah, but that did a lot for sponsorship-wise. We went from an 11 having maybe less than $10,000 in sponsorship to the very next year having more than our entry fees covered.
Yes.
And that was also 11 was the first year we earned enough money to really pay taxes.
Yeah. That was a shock for sure.
Yeah, because 2012 was it at the Classic when the accountant called and said.
Yes, he called and the accountant called and he was like, hey, you know, good news, your taxes are done. Bad news is you owe, like, it was $25,000.
That's exactly what it was.
And I was like, people have to pay that much? Like, really? Like, can I at least delegate where my tax money goes? Like, I am fine, love our country, like, paying taxes is part of it, but, like, let me delegate it. Like, let me really help somebody with it.
Right.
Somebody that really needs help.
Yeah, and that Classic was at the Red River. This is 2012.
Yep.
February 2012.
Came in fifth, right?
Came in fifth.
And our check,
won
$25,000.
$25,000.
I was like,
due April 15th.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I remember with that.
Yeah,
it's
the exact amount.
Yeah, because it was, we didn't realize we'd ever have to pay that much that first year, and we didn't really
save for it. I mean, it really kind of looked bad because we came out 2012 with a new camper, new truck, and a new car or Expedition because I was pulling that. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because we had bought your truck, or I guess maybe we had the truck.
I think we had the truck.
And then we got a new camper, got a bigger camper with all the kids.
An Expedition.
And then I had an older Expedition, and it remember something was wrong with it, and it's something in the cylinder, whatever. But they were like, basically, you can drive it, but it'll eventually will blow up. Like you just don't know if it'll be tomorrow or 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And it was really expensive to fix, and we were like, you know what? As much as we're going to be on the road, like let's just.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
I sure did.
So we went and we still have the Expedition because it's my baby.
Yeah, it was the first.
I don't drive it much,
but
it was the first vehicle. Well, I guess we bought your truck though.
Oh yeah.
But it was the first thing that we financed, and then we paid it off like very quickly.
It was the first thing we bought new.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. The very first thing we bought new.
That was brand new.
And so I just kind of refuse to sell it now. I'm too sentimental.
Yeah.
I know.
We still
use it though.
Yeah, we'll drive it here and there.
Anyway.
But yeah, and 2012 was an excellent year.
Yeah.
Had let's say 3 top 12s. I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember.
One thing you will remember that happened that year. That was the year we had the mystery tournament. They ended up being on Green Bay, and I made the top 12, but I'm sitting in the hot seat when Dean Rojas bumped me out of the hot seat.
Yes, Abby's still upset at Dean Rojas for bumping him out of. cried.
Oh, boo-hooed! I was not going to win. I wasn't even close to winning.
He was not going to win at all. He was just in the hot seat momentarily. And Abby, and she wouldn't. You couldn't talk about Dean. She didn't want to see Dean.
No.
Poor guy. I mean, it's not his fault.
Oh, he's super nice guy. Yeah.
But that's what her memory was that he knocked her daddy out of that hot seat, and trying to explain to her, Dad wasn't going to win. Somebody was going to knock him out. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
but I forgot all about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was a funny one.
And then they cried again at the end of the year
because I come in second.
Because Brent Chapman won that year.
Yeah.
And they both. I mean, AOY went all the way to the end of the last tournament, and we knew if Brent made the top 12, Ott couldn't catch him. And they both made a top 12. So we knew he wasn't going to win, but the kids were still, they always want Dad to win. But
but it was cool because the Chapmans then, and I think they still camp a good bit, but we camped, they camped then. So, we traveled around them a lot and got to know them, pretty well, just being our second year. Out on the road on the elites. But that was awesome, see him win. And that was, I can still tell you, a fish, the very first tournament of the year, that if I catch it, and then of course everything else had to go the same as it did. But if I catch that fish at St. John's, it's like an 8 or 10 pounder on a bed on the third day. I catch that fish. I don't know that I make the top 12, but I finished about 40th or so, and I'd have been in the top 15. And I think the points difference was 10 or 11, 12 points.
Well, what was it, the top 10 or top 12?
Top 12.
So then it was like 13 or 14 points or something. It was very close, Yeah,
it was within 15. And so, if I catch that fish that I had bite my bait a couple times on the bed, and then I had to leave to get back in. But I didn't.
You did.
So, is what it is. I've had 2 seconds in Angler of the Year. That was one of them last year. Bass Pro Tour. So, but all in all, 2012 was an excellent year. Second Angler of the Year. Got a big paycheck for that, just for coming in second. That just blessing of that's kind of why we named this Autopilot, because it was like, this is our second year. We're kind of settling in. Had another great season. It's like, wow. Looking back, it was like, that's why God had all the rest of this in place. Everything that happened in 2008, 2009, 2010 that pushed us into this. And into that, the struggle that 11 was, but it was a success. But it was that we had to take that step, and it was like the second year. It's like, wow, this is
amazing.
And not that God hadn't blessed us before that, but in fishing, it was so easy to look at it, and in our business of how He had ordained all this and put it into place, and really, had really set all that into motion.
We kind of started seeing why the no's were no, and why doors were shut. Because it forced us to go the path that He wanted us on. And so it's like Ott said, that's kind of why we were like autopilot, is because things were just going, like life's happening, and
we weren't having to make a lot of hard decisions at this point. It was actually a couple of years of smooth sailing on a steady upcline. And it's in your life, for you all watching, don't when things are going good, don't turn your back on God either. But you gotta remember where those blessings come from, because that's no doubt where it was. And it was so easy for us to look back and say, that's why this happened. That's why this happened. To have that 2020 vision of looking back and saying, okay,
that makes sense.
We don't always get that.
No, not at all.
And certainly not as fast as what it came. But we're so thankful that it did the way it came. But so, twins, 2011, the twins turned 1, Abby turned... No. Or 11, 12. And 12. Twins turned 1, Abby turns 5. She started kindergarten 2012.
And part of the reason she was at the school that that they all still go to is when she was 4, we're kind of like, okay, am I going to homeschool? Or, because we wanted to be on the road. Go to our school, our little public school she's supposed to go to, which I didn't even know where she was supposed to go. Or like, we never really even thought private school. Like we both came from public schools. It just, we're thinking homeschool or something. Well, Abby is not a homeschool kid. Still is not a homeschool kid. I can remember taking her to Parents' Day Out. She went twice a week when she was 3. And I'm like, I don't know what she knows. We do flashcards, and every letter is an H.
Yep.
Every single one of them. H. And so I drop her off and like pick her up that day, and they laugh. They're like, she knows her alphabet. Yeah. Like, she knows.
She's just playing.
And she's still that way today.
Oh yeah.
She's very much gets at her mom.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not homeschooling that child. Like, I'm not doing it.
I knew we want to send her to school.
And so the little local schools, like, like call and find out about traveling, because I'm like, well, maybe if we call and, if we work it out, these are the dates, because we always have our tournament dates, and they were just like, no, she's only allotted, I think it's 10 days or something, unexcused, and we'll turn you into truancy and all this stuff. And I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, oh, we're not, if we're going to travel, we can't do that. And that's where we got to looking into private school, and had 2 different appointments. Went to where they go now, and sat down with the headmaster, and I tell everybody the story because he's the most precious man. His whole family is, but we talked about Ot's job, and he was just like, I should tell you that education's here. He's like, but it's not. He's like, her home life, her family, what she's used to doing, that's here.
Yeah.
If this is here and in the right place, her education will be just fine. And, he said, you'll have our blessing. You do her schoolwork on the road, whatever you can do. It's just been awesome. And so obviously there's no question.
Yeah, where we wanted them to go, and that's where they've been ever since. And that, so then the next year roll into 13, and we're traveling all the time. So Abby's
first grade,
6 to 7. Twins are 2.
They're
3.
walking.
Yeah, walking, running, talking.
Running every which direction. That age, they don't really understand no.
They do. They just ignore it.
They completely ignore it. But, it's just one of those phases with kids that, and I'll never forget, I don't know where we were, what lake we were at, but we were camping, and we always have, like, when the guys, they would go to their meeting Wednesday nights, like all the wives and kids would get together, and I can remember coming out with the twins, and one takes off towards the woods and the other goes towards the water. And, my good friend Julia's like, I got this one, and I go and get this one. And that's how it was everywhere I went. If I went to the grocery store, like, I'd try to get them in the stroller, and of course they'd fight me with that because they can walk. They want to be out of the stroller, and pushing a stroller with them screaming, pulling a cart. I'm sure Abby's asking 100 questions, and it was like I couldn't function. I could not leave my camper.
And there was no such thing as Walmart pickup.
No, there was no Walmart pickup, which I'm still very mad about. But and so that day, it had already been a week, and I felt like I was trapped in the camper. And then we try to get out and go, like, be social with people, and they're just taking off everywhere. And I have no control over my kids. And newsflash, I'm a control freak. And and I took them, and I went back to the camper, and I just sat in the corner and cried. Like, I was like, I can't do this. I can't. Like, I am so defeated by these little people we've created. And Aunt comes back, and I'm in the corner crying, basically, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I cannot be out here anymore. I'm going home. Like, I have to be at my safe place. Yeah. And I felt horrible. He sent me flowers the next day. It was like, please don't leave me. But he knew that I needed to be home. I'm a pretty strong person, and if I'm crying in a corner.
Yeah. And it was it was hard to see, because I knew that meant, this ain't going to get better immediately with them. It's, it is a process, as everybody knows that's ever raised kids. And it's like, I get it. And selfishly, I wanted them there. I wanted, but it was selfish because I wanted them there 24 hours a day for the whole week. And I'm there for 2 hours of it, maybe, you know. So, I understood that, in that moment, that it was selfish of me to want them there as much as I did. So, yeah, we kind of had an understanding at that point. Hey, we'll pick this one, we'll come to that one, but it wasn't going to be the full time on the road deal, like what it had been.
At least for a little bit. Like I needed to get them under control, my mind under control, all the above.
Yeah, for sure.
So we went home after that tournament, and then pretty much stayed home, I think, most of the rest of the year. Yeah.
You didn't come back on much after that happened. That's for sure. Yeah, but 13 was another. Another solid year. I mean, made the Classic. I don't remember anything. I remember it not being as good as 11 or 12. I don't know that I made the top 10 in the end of the year. That year seems like it fell off a little bit. 2014 was kind of the same. It wasn't spectacular, but
smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing. Other than I did win my first Open on Douglas that year in 2014. That was really cool to see. Made had a decent finish. Made the Classic again. From winning the Open as well as
I think he double qualified
as well as through the elites and the points and stuff. And then each of that, it seemed like each year the companies we were working with, we might get a little raise from, or other pick up a new sponsor here, a couple there, and stuff was just it was just rocking along. It really was. So that's kind of where I think we'll wrap this one up. So and we'll wrap up with the verse again here. Again, Psalm 90 verse 2 says, "Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the whole world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God." So, thank you very much for watching.
Yep.
Come back next Sunday,
6:30.
6:30, and we will be in the same clothes.